Welcome back to Comfort Food with Uncle Dan. I am your humble host, Uncle Dan. Welcome to my kitchen. Different. We're going to start out by making a side dish. This side dish is going to go with almost any meal you can imagine. It's inexpensive, it's absolutely delicious, and super easy to make. Call the kids into the kitchen. They'll be able to help you. We're going to take part of that side dish and turn it into a meal. Cheesy potatoes. It starts out with frozen hash brown potatoes. Nothing fancy, just shredded. All these, I think, is $1.50 the bag, maybe $2. Potatoes in. We're going to add pepper to taste. Don't go crazy if you don't want to. If you love pepper, go crazy. I don't care. It doesn't matter. A little onion powder. Again, to taste. And we're going to go with a little bit of garlic powder. My hands are clean. Best tools in the kitchen right here. God gave them to you. Let's use them. Or a spoon. The next thing we're going to do is add 2 tablespoons of sour cream. Guys, nothing's exact in life. That's 2 tablespoons. We're going to add 1 can cream of chicken soup. You can use any brand you want. Again, I just happened to shop at Aldi's yesterday. It was 49 cents for this can. In the soup goes, maybe. Let's get a little helper here. One can of chicken soup. There we go. You're going to want a full bag, 1 pound bag of cheese. We use mild cheddar. Sharp cheddar would be excellent in here. Anything you have. The Mexican blend, the Italian blend. We like the mild cheddar. It gives off a really good flavor. It goes in. And just give it a mix. You want to mix this up pretty good because you've got, that chicken soup is in there, and there's no liquid in there to help that along. So let's just get it mixed up really good. What do you think? I think we're looking pretty good. You know what? There's one more ingredient that I'd like to add that I don't have. Nothing a little stop at the kitchen can't fix. Half of a medium onion. We're going to want a fine chop on this. You don't, unless you want your family or you or whoever to have a big old slab of onion in their mouth, but try to keep it the same size as the potatoes. So we're just going to go with a real easy chop on this. 1, 2. You guys can do your onions any way you want. We're just going to give her a nice dice. I know there's videos all over the internet of how to dice an onion. You know how you dice an onion? Sharp knife. Keep your fingers tucked in. Use your knuckles. What happens is that knife will just glide right along your knuckles. If you don't, it's going to glide along your missing fingertips. We don't want that. Nice chop. There you go. It's a rough dice. Nothing wrong with that. In the bowl. We better do another little mix. Somebody's going to get a spoonful of onions. Okay, set that aside. I've got the oven preheated, 400 degrees. Put the rack in the middle of the oven. You have other things in there, move it a little higher to the top. It doesn't really matter. But in the middle gives the cheese a really good way to melt. We need to grease up the pan. If you guys are using real butter in the packages like this, we're about down to the end. Even if that was gone, okay, good enough, it's gone. Don't throw this away. Look. Look at that. It's perfect. It was made for greasing up a pan. Okay. I've got my 9x13 ready to go. You kind of want to layer this in. So we're going to go. Let's stop being ridiculous, Uncle Dan. Okay, I hear you. Let's go ahead and get you, start you a layer, maybe a little bit more. There you go. Now, get you a stick of butter. You'll notice I didn't put salt in with this. The soup is salted. I'm using salted butter. We don't use a lot of salt, as I've explained in the past. Add as much as you want. It can always be added at the table. So you want to start with your stick of butter and slice it up into pads and just spread it, evenly throughout, okay? This is going to be the liquid. And you don't want real big pieces at this point because it just won't melt evenly. And I'm about down to a half a stick. Okay, set that aside. Let's go ahead and add the rest. I am scraping the bowl. There is no sense in wasting good food. Now we're just going to spread this out nice and even. Look at that. Perfect. That is nice. Got a couple guys trying to take a walk on me. We're not going to have that. Okay, rest of the butter, same thing. Little pads. And just spread them evenly over the top. It's funny. My wife makes this for every holiday. Every function we go to, potlucks, everybody says, please bring cheesy potatoes. It used to be a real issue. They're very good. I love them. We only had one big mixing bowl. Well, I had my things to cook, and she's making these, and she's making her other things, and she's always using my blue bowl. So there's a running joke every holiday, every family get together. Don't touch Uncle Dan's blue bowl. I'm not using a blue bowl today. This one's a little fancier. I upgraded. She can use a blue bowl. Butter's on. Mix is done. Now I said we're going to turn this side dish into a main meal. Well, what I want to do is let's just split this right down the middle, okay? That's just going to be our imaginary line. What do we have in the fridge? Well, I got some chopped ham. We've got some diced ham left over. I got a bell pepper. We've already got onions in there. we're gonna make it, I don't know, kind of like an O'Brien, potatoes O'Brien, bell peppers, maybe a Denver omelet style. Add ham. We're just gonna get a couple slices on our bell pepper. We're saving this. It's still good. Again, these you do not want big chunks. Let's keep them small. You don't want them to disappear, but you don't want to get a mouthful of bell pepper either. Not in a dish like this. We'll save that for our stuffed peppers. What do you think of that? Good idea. Just a nice fine chop. We're going to end up with maybe a 1/4 cup. But remember, we're out of the 9x13 pan, we're only doing half. Okay, we've got that. We've got our ham ready to go. These are nice sizes. Everybody's going to get a bite of ham. I'm doing this in the pan. It's going to be fine. We're just going to start mixing that in. You see where I'm going with this, I'm sure. Let's go ahead and put the pepper in. Got a couple that don't want to go. There we are. Man, what you talking about? You gotta get the butter back on the top. Look at that, guys. Isn't that something? Let's just sprinkle some more ham on top. It's just because we got it. What do you think? Looks like it's ready to go. We're gonna need to cover this. Let's go ahead and get out our tin foil. Kind of mash that down just a titch. Shoot the tin foil. Seal it up nice and tight. This is going to go into the 400-degree oven, and it's going to bake for about 45 minutes to an hour. At about the 45-minute mark, you're going to want to open the oven up, take the cover off, put this back in. The rest of the baking time is going to crisp up the top. While that's in the oven, I just wanted to kind of introduce myself. My name is Dan. The name Uncle Dan came from years ago. We raised 3 wonderful boys, mostly in small towns throughout America. Central Illinois was the main part. I was known as Uncle Dan to everybody, even my friends, co-workers, people that just knew me in public. Everybody, Uncle Dan, Uncle Dan, and that stuck with me through the years. I don't take it lightly. I try to be a good uncle. But that brings me to the food side. You know, my wife and I, like I said, we raised 3 boys. We never had a lot. We had enough. We were always able to adjust our dinners accordingly. We never cooked down to our budget. We always budgeted up to our meals. And what I mean by that is yeah, there were times that it was hard to put a good quality meal on the table for our family, but we never sacrificed quality and flavor, especially. There are so many videos on the internet, on YouTube, on TikTok, you name it, where they're taking just whatever they can find for $1 and they're claiming it's a meal, and that's fine. I understand. There's actual people that's really all they have. But there's better ways of doing it. I believe it was my last video, was pork chop dinner. It was literally $2 a plate. Um, this particular meal, except for the hash brown potatoes, those are pantry items. I would assume you have items in your cupboard or in your pantry. If you're not sure how to stack it, or stock your pantry or stock your cupboards, make sure you subscribe to this channel and ring the bell, get notifications. We're going to walk through that. My goal of this channel is to try to bring back what we were all pretty much raised with. The best memories I have are from the kitchen, whether it was at one of my grandmother's houses. I was blessed by. I mean, I had a full set of grandparents on both sides. One grandma and grandpa lived just a couple blocks away. We were able to go there all the time whenever we wanted. I can remember my grandma in the kitchen cooking every day. She would put on her house dress in the morning and do her house chores. My grandpa was at work before he retired, and that included getting dinner ready. And she was raised through the Depression, where they had nothing. And just because they had the means later in life, she never cooked that way. She cooked to her budget and budgeted to her cooking. Amazing meals. And then I was fortunate to have a mother that knew how to cook and knew how to cook well. I wish I paid more attention. There were 4 siblings, and there were 4 kids in our household. So the family of 6, and mom worked full time, dad worked full time, and she'd have to come home and get dinner on the table. And it wasn't always a 5-star dinner, but we didn't know any better. To us, it was. We didn't go to restaurants. When we went to a restaurant, it was a very special treat, but we didn't have to. And, my wife and I, the kids are grown. They're out of the house. We don't go to restaurants anymore. There is nothing at a restaurant that we can't prepare at home. A, cheaper. B, 100% better. And we have been to some very nice restaurants throughout the world. Usually leave pretty disappointed. I've worked in a lot of restaurants. When I was young, I've cooked in a lot of restaurants. Then I went into the service business, the service side of restaurants. And again, I have been in some very, very expensive restaurants to service equipment. I'm not ever bringing my family to them. My kitchen's clean. Can you eat off the floor? I would, but I don't know if I'd let you. But we live here. This is where we live. But our food, we know what's in it. We know who cooked it. We know the ingredients. But the biggest ingredient that I put in all of my meals, and I cook every meal in this house, is love. I got that ingredient, from my mom, from my grandparents, because that's all they had to give us. And our meals were at the dinner table. Dinner was served at 5 o'clock every night, not 5:05. My father would not put up with that. It was 5 o'clock. And as a kid, I'm like, Dad, well, whatever. It was 5 o'clock. It was structure. It was time for his family to sit down at the table and talk about their day. Discuss what's going on. There were some arguments. They weren't allowed, but there were some arguments. It was never me. I listen, you know better than that. But seriously, it was his time to spend with his family and my mother. And we enjoyed it. and we had delicious food, and it was wholesome. It was homemade. I guess what I'm saying is maybe give it a try. One night this week, clear off the table. I'm looking at my dining room table right now. No, again, it's just my wife and I. We couldn't eat dinner at the table right now. Well, I've got 400 cookbooks sitting on it. I've got 2 computers sitting on it. I mean, that's just how it is. But when the kids come over for dinner, we sit at the dining room table. When the kids come over for dinner, dinner's at 5 o'clock. It's just the way it's always been. There are some dinners where it was just mac and cheese, and sometimes it was the powdered mac and cheese. It was 25 cents a box back then. Added a little milk if we had it. If we didn't, we had add a little water and butter. But there was always a good meal on the table. Going out to eat, we did a lot of it. We believed that it was cheaper to go out to eat. And sometimes you just want to get out of the house. I understand that. But what kind of memories are from that? Do you remember the trip to the pizza joint? Do you remember the trip to the buffet restaurant? No, you're going to remember the conversations that were had in the kitchen. The kitchen is the heartbeat of your home. Our house is an open concept. It's open to the living room, dining room, kitchen. I wish we had this when we raised the boys. Everybody's involved in the conversation, and it's still, they come right here to the island while, Renee and I are preparing the dinner. We would never change that. So invite the kids into the kitchen. I'm not one for advice. I'm just telling you, I've raised a family. I think we've done pretty well. Right now we do plop down on our chairs and turn on the TV and eat our dinners. That might change. I mean, her and I, we still like to have conversations. We've been married an awful long time. I'm proud to say. Another thing I want to address, and really we're just talking, getting to know one another. The recipes that you're going to see, I'm going to focus on comfort food. I think it's just wholesome family foods that'll fill you up. Hopefully you're going to have a little bit of leftover that pack up and take for lunch, and take it to work tomorrow. Throw it in the microwave, whatever you need to do. But we're going to try to keep it on a budget. I understand grocery prices are high. And we're going to do what we can to help you. But our main thing is we want to teach you. We want to teach you how to provide good nourishment for your family and quality time with your family. You're going to wake up one morning like we did, and our house is empty. It didn't take long. Another thing about my recipes is, there's a million ways to make hash brown casserole on the internet. I understand. But it kind of goes to the story of Grandma's ham. So the daughter, she's a young mom. She's 23 years old. She's cooking her first Easter dinner, and it's a ham. She's got the ham on the table. First thing she does, takes out her big knife, and she whacks off one end of the ham, whacks off the other end of the ham, sets it aside, puts it in the baking tray, throws it in the oven. Well, her little girl, 3 years old, she knew better. Mommy, why'd you cut up the ham? She says, that's the way you have to do it. I've had the best ham ever from my mom, your grandma, and that's how you do it. Oh. Well, as the 3-year-old got older and older and older, came time for her to cook a dinner. First thing she did is got the ham out, boom, boom, cut off the ends. Her husband says, why in the world did you do that? She said, that's how you have to cook ham. It's the best ham in the world. He says, I don't buy it. So he called his mother-in-law. So what's the deal with the ham? So that's how you do it. You have to cut the ends off. Well, he wasn't satisfied, so he called Grandma. Grandma, what do you know about this? She says, oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's how you have to cook the ham. You have to cut the ends off. He didn't buy it. He wasn't falling for it. Went to the nursing home, visit great grandma. So everybody says that they're cooking your ham, best ham in the world. Why do you cut the ends off? And she just started laughing and laughing and laughing. She says, honey, back in my day, the pans were small and the ovens were smaller. I had to cut the ends off to put it in the oven. So listen, all the recipes are not going to be the same. I'm not going to do things the way everybody else does it. Or I might. But we're not cutting the ends off our hams. We're going to make it work. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. I really need your support. We're going to make this channel grow. We're going to focus on good food, on family, on faith, and just making our world a little bit better. So as soon as we get this potato casserole out of the oven, we're going to serve it up. Until then, I'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, guys, we just pulled our cheesy potato casserole out of the oven. As I said, we've got two things going on. We've got a side dish, and the other half we turned into a meal. It's got onions, peppers, diced ham, and this side is just potatoes, cheese, some diced onions. Perfect side dish with, I can't think of a protein that wouldn't go with. Another thing it's really good for is in the morning, cut you a square off, heat that up, fry an egg, put some gravy on it, whatever you want. Breakfast potato casserole. It's amazing. Better than that other little place that sells, they're supposedly the best hash brown casserole. I don't know. We're going to serve the side first. Let's just put us a little bit on there. Look at the cheese. Oh, the cheese. Nice and crispy. Crispy on the top. Absolutely delicious. I would take a bite, but this is lava hot. You really ought to let it sit for a minute or two. And our next one, let's get a side of this. You know what? I'm going to get another plate. This deserves its own plate, guys. Oh, look at that. Ham, bell pepper, cheese, onion. Look at that. Oh, it smells so good. Again, heat that up in the morning. Some fried eggs, scrambled eggs, whatever you want to do. Or have this for supper. Or even better, take it to work tomorrow for lunch. Everybody around you is going to be, what in the world are you having? Well, you just tell them to watch this channel. Uncle Dan will take care of them just like Uncle Dan's going to take care of you. Guys, I really appreciate the time we've spent together. Please like, share, and subscribe. We're going to grow this channel. We're going to grow it as a family. And you have suggestions, leave it in the comments down below. We have a lot of ideas that are going to come your way. Check back. Every day we post a video. Right now, the schedule is looking like 3 videos a week. It could be more. I'm looking at a lot of family-friendly, kid-friendly. I want to get the kids off of the games, the computers, the whatever you call those screen things. I want to get them in the kitchen. Right now, I want you guys to have a great rest of the day. Pull up the chair at the dining room table and enjoy your family. Take care.